Wow. What's cracking with y'all? It's your boy Prince Wise, the Hustle God, aka Chief Lo the Madman, aka Michelangelo the Man of Many Names. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, this is the HGM Hustlecast, where we interview entrepreneurs on finance, business building, and industry specific tools you can use now to help you elevate in your business today. Excuse me for not having on a shirt. It's hot as hell. It's the peak of summer. You feel me? Uh, but that said, uh, I would like to welcome a special guest to the show. Our guest today will be Jai Steels. Um, he's a young entrepreneur out of Canada, um, and he can give us a lot of insight on a few different industries, actually. Uh, But while we wait to welcome our guest to the show, I just want to give you guys a reminder about the platform. The platform is essentially going to be broken up into mind, body, and spirit, if you will. And the mind will be financial aspect. The body will be like a spiritual. The body will be fitness and boxing and sports and bodybuilding and stuff like that. The the soul will be more creativity. So you'll see artwork and things like that from me also on this platform. But today's show is the HGM Hustlecast. I apologize about the live before. We were having some technical difficulties. Um, we may still be having some technical difficulties, actually. So this is also a trial run. Hey, Tay Tay, how you doing? Beautiful. Uh, this is still a trial run, so it may not work. But if it does, that would be great, and we'll have a lot to provide to you guys. That'll be, I think, insightful, useful information. Um, if not, then we will return at a later date with possibly the same guest or another guest, or just may have to reevaluate how I'm connecting, with the live because a few people have been struggling with the YouTube links specifically, and it's just been kind of a headache dealing with the YouTube links. Give me 1 second. Thank you. Give me 1 second. I just gotta see if it's working. Our guest just said he's still trying, so it might not be working. Is this still taking you to the troubleshooting page, bro? If it's still taking you to the troubleshooting page, like is it because I'm like going live off of the phone and maybe you're on the computer? Like I don't know, I don't really know how that works, but I'm trying to I'm trying to make some shake. But everybody, thank you who is in the building. I appreciate it. Again, my apologies for not having on a shirt. It's hot than a motherfucker out, y'all. Uh, but um, but we're here today for um, some financial insight into different industries ultimately. But yeah, yeah, please do, bro. Um, and again, if it works, I guarantee we'll. My have obviously some stock market conversation in there, some cryptocurrency conversation, some investing news, market, the real estate market stuff, maybe construction costs, home building costs, news from um, the banks on FHA loans, stuff like that. But I will be prepared next time. Um, but I'm hoping that work the same with the phone. Well, I appreciate you trying, bro. Um, I'm not understanding what's going on with it. Uh, wait, what am I saying? No. All right. I'm sorry. Stick around, guys. I'm about to just call him on the tablet. It's gonna be a little hood, but hey, it's still yeah, I mean. I should have thought about that before I folded. So yeah, bro, I'm gonna just call you on Instagram and we'll just have the interview over Instagram. Um, it won't be video. We'll just do the audio. Make sure my sound is up. So yeah, I'm about to do the intro again. I'm about to call him, just so that it's a smooth one take through, so that it's an actual show. I apologize. Um, all right, I wasn't thinking. All right, this way. Lights back. So this is the HGM Hustlecast, where we interview entrepreneurs on finance, business building, and industry specific tools that you can use now to help elevate you in your business today. That said, I want to welcome a very special guest to the show. I apologize for the technical difficulties before. I take full responsibility for that. Welcome to the show, Josh Steels. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good. I'm peace. You know what I mean? I'm blessed. You know what I mean? Um, First off, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Baby, for the awesome. You know what I mean? Back for the first time, being interviewed by my guy, Combat today. You know what I mean? Salute to the usual suspect six. You know what I mean? I see this other boy, my guy Acting live right now. You know what I mean? Go ahead and play back after y'all listen to this and whatnot. Yeah, you know what I mean? Speak to the LDBC. And of course, it's a pleasure speaking with you. Definitely on this business tip. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's talk about it. It's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I love, obviously, we're setting this off with good energy. I love the energy. I love the intro. Tell the people who you are and where you're from. Just a little bit about yourself for those who don't know.
Yes, I'm the favorite yet your most hated on from J Steels. Um, I'm part of the usual suspect six, somewhat of a YouTube kind of collective that was started talking boxing together. You know what I mean on panels, and it kind of evolved into something bigger, into the usual suspect six. We became usual suspects of this boxing talk, and amongst other things. You know what I mean? So uh, it turned into a brand. You know what I mean? I'm from I'm one of the only ones. You know what I mean? Out of the usual suspect six. I'm north of the border. I'm out here in Canada. You know what I mean? I represent Steeltown, the 905, Hamilton, Ontario. You know what I mean? Rest of the brothers out there over there. You know what I mean? In the states and whatnot. But I view myself as somewhat of the foreign correspondent, so to speak, the the almighty unifier type of time, type of shit. You know what I mean? But that that's a little bit who I am under in a nutshell. Not to speak of um, tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I will be live on FM radio. I do a weekly hip hop show promoting the best independent local hip hop material, not only local hip hop, just mainly independent material on the real, you know, because I get music from all over North America, even sometimes across the pond and whatnot, you know what I mean? So, yeah, from 9 to 10:30, we keeping it live and direct, the live and direct show. Um, yeah, this is one of the endeavors, the many endeavors that I'm involved in. Um, yeah, yeah.
So my follow up question to that is, how did you get involved in music? And then how did it spin into you hosting shows?
Well, I've been involved in music for like decades upon decades. I started off in a rap clique called the Spill City Committee. That rap clique turned into uh, kind of devolved into a group called the Odds, and me and the Odd Fellas, and that's how I originally got my name. And me, Jay
Mm,
Steele's the Odd Fella, and me and my partner Slim the Odd Fella, we were kind of enigmas and kind of different than your norm in the sense of what your quintessential Black Canadian was. Over here, the majority of Black Canadians, when like in African American culture, African Americans are African Americans. In Canadian culture, African Canadians usually come from the Caribbean. You know what I mean? They're usually Jamaican for the most part. You know what I mean? So they're always, when somebody looks at you, they always just come from the islands or something like that. Me and Drew Slim were different. You know what I mean? Um, Myself, I'm half Ghanaian and half African American. My mom, rest in peace to my mom. You know what I mean? She was born and raised in Detroit. You know what I mean? So I got a huge family. You know what I mean? Detroit stateside that originate from Alabama. My boy, my partner Drew Slim at the time, he's from Nova Scotia. You know what I mean? That the old, the end of the Railroad, them type of descendants. You know what I mean? From escape from slavery. You know what I mean? So we consider ourselves kind of different than the norm. So that's how the Odd Fella name came about. We dropped a couple albums, about 3 mixtapes. Um, Family Life hit, Slim pretty, you know what I mean, pretty hard and whatnot. And then sometimes Family Life sways you away from music, whereas me, I continue to maintain with it. You know what I mean? So then I started my solo career. You know what I mean? With my solo career, I did about two solo albums, a plethora of mixtapes. I can't even count how many mixtapes I've done. I believe I evolved the sound. You know what I mean? I I was the first.
um,
I did a lot of things. I did a lot of things to
excuse me.
transcend it. You know what I mean?
I don't
Well,
mean to
well,
I don't
well,
mean to cut you off, but I have to ask you a question there. So
yeah,
when you were in your solo career, and I still do want you to obviously get us through in answering the rest of that question, but when you had your albums for sale, was that an independent venture? Was that a partnership through a record label? Um, just to get on the financial side of things, what was the your transactional process in having those two products? Because my following question would be, what products or services do you offer? And I know that you offer some through other means, as well as, like in music as well. But I just want to know,
right,
at that period in your life, what was it
right.
like
So,
having
right. See,
products?
this is the genesis of everything right here. You know what I mean? Because the music brought me to other tables and to into other markets and into other opportunities. You know what I mean? So first off, selling albums. I mean, yes, that was exclusively independent. Jay Steele's the odd fella. He's never signed no record contract, though I've seen and been offered record contracts, but reading through them, it's pretty much you're sacrificing your creativity in order to sometimes, you know what I mean, to get that extra bit of money. You know what I mean, quick,
Yeah.
fast. But there's a lot of horror stories with guys that have taken that advance, taken that contract, and then they owe it at the end of the day. You never hear
Hmm.
about them again. I didn't really want to be in that situation um, of being owned by a corporate entity, having the name that I created and being taken over and being controlled by a corporate entity. So I've always taken the kind of the independent route of things. Selling my albums before, of course, we had physical CDs. Got to find promotional ways and innovative ways to promote your CD and whatnot. We had street teams out here going to different clubs, handing out free CDs and stuff like that. Before, when the CD first came out, we used to have just one track. You know what I mean? With probably like 16 songs. We like force you to hit, force you to listen to the whole shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There wasn't no skip to track 3 or nothing like that. So we did little things like that. And we evolved to the mixtapes, start pushing our mixtape. Now this is all hand to hand before the internet started popping. You know what I mean? Before you can start selling digitally on the internet, just doing hand to hands out of trunks, out the backpacks, going to different cities. You know what I mean? Because where I'm in Hamilton, I'm not too far from Toronto. And I'm the center of everything. You know what I mean? You go 30 minutes or northeast, you in Toronto. You go 30 minutes to the east. You in Niagara Falls, Buffalo, New York area. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of opportunity to travel around, get your music out there and whatnot, and independently make moves.
Hmm.
So from that evolved, we need to branch out. We can't just have music. We gotta have the brand along with it. We gotta have merchandise. You know what I mean? So the first thing we created, the Odd Fellas, we created the Odd label. You know what I mean? In the Odd label, we kind of utilize different ways to. At the time, people were putting a lot of text, a lot of word messaging on T-shirts and whatnot. We wanted to use some of our ancestors' ways to use pictography. You know what I mean, with our phrases and whatnot. So that where a lot of the art label uh, was based in like comedic pictography and stuff like that. So we we start moving that. We start moving that merchandise once again independently. I had a brick and mortar store downtown of my city. Now Hamilton ain't no, I mean, it ain't no huge, you know what I mean, world class city, but it ain't no small city either. You know what I mean? So I had a nice little boutique style store called the Oddfellas Closet. The premise was behind the Oddfellas Closet was I'm gonna sell you clothes. You know what I mean? That are I'm gonna sell you an outfit. I'm gonna sell you tailor made stuff for you that's unique for yourself. A lot of the places out here in Hamilton, you go to a place in Toronto to these so-called quote unquote hip hop or urban type of stores, you know what I mean? Um, you had like 50 of a kind. You buy a shirt, there was 50 same shirts in them, you know what I mean? So buy something and it's liable, you go to the club and 5 other guys had the same shirt as you.
Right.
No, that can't happen with the Oddfellas closet. You get unique, unique garments, unique outfits. I'm getting shit from Detroit that you ain't never seen before, type shit. You know what I mean? I'm giving you shit that would be in my closet, the Oddfellas closet, in the digs. You only get one of them. You know what I mean? So that was the premise behind that. I flipped that store into the brand of Odd Label. I put a sponsored battle rapper named Arcane that became the king. He became like the king of the King of the Dot. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the King of the Dot battle league. It's probably the second best battle league behind URL. You know what I mean?
Okay.
In the world. You know what I mean? But I was involved in that, sponsoring Arcane, and that's when I kind of made my ground selling clothes with the R label because Arcane exposed me to the world, like exposed the R label to the world. He has fans all over the place and whatnot. So they were seeing him in his battles wearing the R label. They're like, what's he wearing? You know what I mean? What's he wearing, Blase? You know what I mean?
Was this the introduction to e-commerce for you?
Yes. That was the introduction to e-commerce, and it was the death of brick and mortar. I was like, F the brick and mortar. Yo, Combat was paying for the like, of course, you got to pay for the gas, electricity bill, you know what I mean?
The
Pay for
overhead, yeah.
the rent of the building, you know what I mean? Then you got to pay for your employees. You know, some of your your employees were some of my boys, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what I mean, respectfully, some of my boys were lazy, you know what I mean? You come to you show up in the shop, they have bitches up in your store, like, you know what I mean? Like they running the mission and whatnot, bro. You're supposed to be selling my clothes, bro.
Right.
You know?
Right.
not up here landing with shorty, bro. You know what I mean? So you got them type of times, and you lose the money. You gotta keep the store stocked with fresh fly new gear.
Yeah.
You can't just have that same old dead shit all the time. And if that shit don't move, where you do it, it's just sitting there. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, my next evolution was just carrying my own brand, the R label, and moving it e-commerce wise, setting up a store online where people can purchase the R label and just paying for your internet and for your website subscription and whatnot and your e-commerce subscription, and that was much more cheaper than going the brick and mortar route.
Right.
To have a store and whatnot that you run into so many different type of issues.
So when you had transitioned into the more e-commerce to online route, how did you sustain, or did you reinvent it entirely? Was it still boutique style, or was it like, how did you like, obviously you got more eyes on it, but it wasn't like having a boutique where it's one of ones, because now you're introduced to a wider market. So what was obviously there was a change in overhead cost, because the overhead cost of the utilities, the employees, as you said, it rings you dry after a while when you look at the profits from the e-commerce side. But I guess, how did you uh capitalize off of those eyes, um from the battle rapper that you were sponsoring, to obviously keep the money flowing, or even double or multiply, you know?
Well, for one, when I was doing the brick and mortar store, the Oddfellas Closet, the art label was only a small part of my merchandise that was in the store. The majority of the other items were other brands, right? So
Yeah.
whatever was hot, you know what I mean, whether it was True Religion, whether it was your bow at the time, whatever. I mean, that's what was up in there. I mean, so I wasn't necessarily eh, getting getting all the royalties and getting the money from it. I mean,
Right.
um, with the R label, that's 100% me. I mean, that so there
So was
that
your
that translates into more definitely into more of a profit, so to speak.
so
And
you
of
got even more
course,
creative because it was 100% your designs at that point.
yeah,
And
100% my 100% my designs, and of course, it takes away from the boutique style where it now I'm evolving into merchandising,
yeah,
merchandising my own brand. Um, and like I said before, what jumped that off was the sponsorship, sponsoring a rapper like Arcane for uh, having him wear my material at his battles that get millions of hundreds of thousands of views to millions of views really accelerated the sales profit. But to be honest, you're gonna have to end the R label talks about that part of my career right there, because there's some stuff about the R label, the way it ended. I can't even speak on
yeah,
me
yeah.
on
And that's good
but
because that brings me to
that,
another part.
the business can be real shady. But one of them things is shadiness. I can't even speak on live. You know what I mean? So
No,
it
definitely.
most of the time.
Yeah, we all got things that we can't talk about in depth. Like just they are open cases. You feel me? So yeah, like, but that brings me to um what are your current ventures now? What are you involved in now? So you have the hosting of the radio show, right? You have
Yeah,
that. You have
live direct. Yeah.
yes, excuse me, live and direct. I apologize about that. You also have merchandising that you do now. You also have platforms that you have. So elaborate on what pots you have in the fire right now. Your current business ventures.
Indeed. You know what I mean? Well, since the death of our label, um, we'll fast forward into now times. You know what I mean? Now we have the brand Usual Suspects. You know what I mean? We have to credit Red, Cadillac Red, for being in my ear, saying, "Yo, man, we can do this. Blah blah blah. We need our own merchandise. Yo, man, let's put together a logo." I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't want to do this shit no more, bro. Like, bro, if you know what happened last time, dog, you don't even want to. Come on, man. We don't need, yo. We just need, yo. Let's do it, G. Okay. You know what I mean? So we start working it out, bro. We cooked up like shit, probably like 8 9 logos and went through them all, and started asking the brothers, "Well, yo, which ones you like and shit?" Came up with the two lions with the U.S. Over top. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then it didn't stop from there. Yo, we need some secondary logos. You know what I mean? So now it's like, yo, we need to utilize the hexagon. You know what I mean? Because there's 6 sides to a hexagon, and there's 6 sides to this here click, to the usual suspects. You know what I mean? So when you see the hexagon and all of our shit and all of our logos, that's what that means. You see the 6 lions, it means the 6 of us. You know what I mean? J Steels, Act Reacher 45, Cadillac Red, KG, 503 Lions, stay ready. You know what I mean? It means the 6. If you see the lions, it means that we based in the lions, then boxing community, the LDBC. You know what I mean? So that venture it turned into a brand. We were doing, not only do we have drip, we have clothes and whatnot. Um, we also have the website, usualsuspect6.com, where
Yes, sir.
we have a host of boxing rankings. We host the boxingdirty.com. I think it's probably one of the few sites that I know of that archives the dirt in boxing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dirt that gets swept under the rug from your most not favorite fighter. Uh, gets swept under the rug, but not with the usual suspect six on boxingdirty.com.
Right.
All that shit gets archived.
Right.
If you need dirt to talk about Tyson Fury, if you need dirt to talk about a dude like Billy Ho Saunders, go to the boxing.com, boxingdirty.com. You're going to see, you know what I mean? You'll see plenty of facts and factual references. You know what I mean? So we put that together. Um, uh, so yeah, I'm heavily involved with that. Boxing rankings, usualsuspects6.com. Of course, the shop, usualsuspects6.com. Um, we have a plethora of different collections um, inspired by the usual suspects. In fact, yourself has your own collection.
Yes, sir.
Shop usualsuspects6.com, the combat tool bag collection in the dig. So, um, yeah, it's been great being able to utilize some of my creativity into designing some of these items, some of these. Now we can't even call it merch no more. It's more apparel. You know what I mean? But I can't take credit for designing everything. But yeah, that's really what it is. From the merch and the apparel, the usual suspects. Usual suspects is also music, um, promotion. I do I do promotion over these sides. My next event is a 2 day hip hop showcase. We want to call it a 2 day hip hop festival. And in lieu of the anniversary of the 50th year anniversary of hip hop. So we're doing that over here. I booked over 20 artists that will be performing. Independent artists, of course. You know what I mean? From as far as uh, Michigan, Montreal, will be converging down to Hamilton. You know what I mean? For this 2 day event, and I do a lot of showcases on that type of time uh, to help promote and uplift these independent artists and whatnot. So there's a lot of talented independent artists around the area that need an outlet, that need a plug, that need that platform. So I'm not just a platform digitally on YouTube or nothing like that. I'm really outside combat, and
Yeah.
I really do got the like I said, radio station, FM radio, got people coming down for interviews outside live. You know what I mean? I'm really doing showcases. You know what I mean? In different venues, not only in my own city, but neighboring cities as well. I'm
So.
really putting on a fish fry next week. In the dig, you know what I mean? The undisputed fish fry. And sorry for your boy, but he's getting served up on the platter. But I'm outside with it. You know what I mean? It's the same troll game. It's the same slick talk. You know what I mean? I'm real with it. But
Hey, that was nice. That was nice. But how does so no, you're a very multi-talented person, and it's one thing to just be multi-talented, but you you virtually have businesses or platforms, or you're the mastermind behind something in whatever you're multi-talented in. So you have these. First of all, you have the radio show, the FM show that you host. You have shows that you're promoting, musical shows that you're promoting. You have your own YouTube platform. You're part of a conglomerate, the Usual Suspect 6, you're one of the creatives behind the all of the designs that goes through the apparel and merchandising stuff, damn near custom fashion. How do you, with having your hands in all of these pots, how do you balance being able to, because there's no way of multitasking. It's virtually impossible to do two things or three things at once and be effective. But you're proving right now that you're effective at several different things. You're building several different empires that obviously are going to surmount to some massive empire, which is going to be one of my later questions. But you're multitasking very well, obviously, because you're building musical artists. You have your thumb on the pulse of the boxing community. You're making custom fashion. You're hosting a radio show. How do you do all of this? There's only 24 hours in a day for everyone. So how is it that you juggle all of these ventures?
It's overwhelming sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's not like last year was different than this year. I'm gonna be real with you, Combat. I mean, 'cause last year I was literally a 40-year-old that was retired, living off of and me living off of severance check and me sitting on a fat pension.
Hmm.
Then move to now, you have to deal with a death, the death of my mother, which is which hit me. Still dealing with it, like, you know what I mean?
My
I'll never
sincerest
be the same
condolences, bro.
for that, you know what I mean? But through through that, I'm I said to myself, I'm not just going to sit around and stew and cry and and dwell on what you could have done. I'm gonna try to make up for it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna and not only make up for it too. I think keeping my mind occupied takes me away from dwelling on the thoughts of my mother passing. You know what I mean? So in a sense, sometimes it's all the things that I'm involved with, you know what I mean, that helps me cope.
Uh, and now I know uh, a little bit about your mom because of what you've articulated on your platform. So I have to ask this for this platform. What what was your parent or guardian's perspective on finance, and obviously how did that affect you? And then even following that, did you have any financial mentors, past or present?
I realized when I had to clean out my mother's apartment how much alike we were, where I got my business acumen and a lot of my innovative ways to get things done from her. You know what I mean? So she's my she would be my mentor regarding uh, my business, definitely my business acumen. She had a business when she was alive called C. Van Dyke Import and Export. She was this is back in the '90s, right? And she was selling before there was like the dollar store, and you was getting all that made in China shit. She was already selling that shit.
That's
And
crazy.
importing, exporting and shit. Uh, she had like a before the cell phone was out. She was selling some type of calculator that was a calculator a calendar and a Rolodex that had like you could store all your phone numbers on it. That sound like the smartphone or the cell phone of today. This is
Yes.
back in like the early '90s. She was selling that, and so that's what type of time I'm like realizing, man, this is what my mom was really doing. Because I was like, I wasn't really, I understood it. I was still young, but now that I look at it and I'm now doing similar type of things, I'm like, okay, now I know exactly where I get it from.
Yeah.
So,
And I had to ask that because when I heard that from you, I knew I wanted to interview you instantly. I mean, I already knew I wanted to interview you for other reasons, but that aspect, I mean, coming to find that out later in life had to be very different. But it's just to have a mom who's a hustler, who's an entrepreneur, who's an eclectic, uh, and obviously it come full circle and you seeing that, like seeing how it affected you as a kid, but then seeing what it meant as an adult it's beautiful, especially it being a financial tale. um what's the biggest mistake you've made in business?
um, off, I can't say off top, but I would say you have to definitely be weary of who the partners are.
Yes.
Who you're engaging uh, your business with. Um, I was in a situation in the, I would say, recent past, not too recent, but recent past, I would say, which actually helped evolve the usual suspect was shot usual suspect 6. I don't know if you remember, Con, that before usual suspects was shot usual suspect 6, usual suspects merchandise was exclusively on a website called Interverse.com.
Ah.
Yeah. Now, Interverse was I would say, the conglomerate that put me in the lane of how to maintain a next level website, like a website and a digital storefront. And not only that, they not only the storefront, but put me into the lane of merchandising, where it's not just t-shirts and hoodies. You can merchandise damn near anything. If you want a Bluetooth speaker, you can put your name on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You want your own line of sneakers, you can do that too. Like that's the type of lane that they put me on. So as I involve myself uh, into that company and uh, became more prominent, of course, in order to make money, you gotta invest money. But you gotta be careful of where you're investing, because if you're not investing in the right places, of course the money's gonna cease real quick.
Yeah.
And in this situation, I had I had invested money. I was given the sweet talk, and all the I wouldn't say it could have been capped for all we know, but man, I got a $2 million deal on the table. I'm about to close blase blah, and we're all partners, but we're all different parts of the world and shit like that. So you really don't know what's going on until you really sit in the room with these guys. You know what I mean? And that's another thing that don't take everything digitally for real. You know what I mean? try to physically see who your partners are. And you need to know who they are for real, for real. So anyway, we have I have a business partner in the company, but he's the partner that has all the passwords to the money, to the merchandise and stuff like that. Um, and of course, he's the one that's supposedly doing the meetings with these $2 million meetings, blah blah blah. Now something happens to him where he goes off the rails. I don't know if it was a OD or he just chemically imbalanced and he went mentally off. But he lands in the psychiatric ward. It hasn't came out since. And since then, the money that I invested in that business is lost.
Whoa.
Can't get back. Yeah, so yeah, that's why I say you gotta watch and really vet working with. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because yeah, stuff you put in could be lost the next day because they done flipped out or went left on
Wow. See, now it's hard to follow that with this question because that was like definitely I would say that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make in business. Obviously, is not vetting your partners properly. But what's one of the lessons you've learned from your past ventures that maybe necessarily didn't come to fruition today, and that and maybe in that is the lesson.
you. Lesson in my past ventures
Yeah.
to have more than one option. Don't have your eggs just in one basket. Don't have just if you have if you're selling hats, don't just have one hat supplier. One guy that does the hats have multiple. So if one falls off, you're gonna have something to back you up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I related to because of course we always talk Thai boxing, and I feel sorry for what's his face, Stanley Jonas. He was
Yeah.
supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz. You know what I mean? And that fight that got canceled how many times, bro? But
Yeah.
that last
A
time
lot.
they canceled it a couple days before the weigh-in, old boy had fainted.
Hmm.
But Stanley Jonas' team, shame on Golden Boy, but shame on Stanley Jonas' team for not having no C class opponent there waiting in the wings for him to like at least get a paycheck, at
Good
least
point.
busy. You know what I mean? They ain't have nothing for him, bro. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
business
No
is business. That's a
alternative, no
good point.
option. You know what I mean? So that inactivity could be the death of Stanley Jonas when they decided to match him up with Boots Ennis or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, make sure you got multiple options, man. Just don't rely on one team.
Okay, and what are some marketing strategies? Because you're a creative marketer. What are some marketing strategies you use that have been most effective for you? Like in any form. Some people are still postcard depending their industry. Some people are still telephone pole depending their industry. You've had a variety of marketing tactics. Some mentioned here having a street team in the past. What are some marketing strategies that have worked for you, or that maybe that are working for you now?
My most ancient and tried and tested marketing strategy is promoting yourself. Nobody can promote your shit like yourself. You know what I mean? I was always told that in the music business, in the rap business, you get up on stage. If you ain't feeling your shit, how the crowd gonna feel your shit?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta feel your shit. And if you feeling your shit, you should be wearing your shit. You should be preaching your shit. You should be spitting your shit. You know what I mean? Promote it to the world. So what I do in regards to like usual suspect, but before it was a hard label, and now it's the usual suspect. You always see me in usual suspect drip. Whether my camera's on, I'm on the panel, or
Hmm.
whether I'm outside. You know what I mean? Especially when I'm outside. You see me outside, people ask me, yo, where you get those shoes at? Yo, that's my shit. Shop usualsuspect6.com. And not to be braggadocious or nothing like that, I always been the type of person that people always walk up to me and ask me what I got on.
Hmm.
And that's where it kind of, that type of energy kind of went to my head. Where it's like, yo, I could be selling these people shit. You know what I mean? Like, they always asking me, like, yo, where did you know what I mean? So it was like, yo, so I'm on that type of time. Promote yourself. Because you know your best.
Right, and wearing your product, obviously, if you can, that makes sense. It's the in person or face to face or direct marketing without having to speak, because it's the first thing they see is literally like seeing a Nike sign, or literally like seeing a FedEx truck. Your label is there. So that's good advice on the marketing side of things. If you can wear your product, literally wear it. So
Exactly. And
uh
then to evolve from that, then when you got yourself right, then you want to go for, you try to want to get a quote unquote big fish to wear your shit, or to market, to say your name. You know what I mean? They got rappers nowadays that are for $300 they'll give you a shout out. You know what I mean? That's
mhm.
promotion right there. You know what I mean? So like I told you in the earlier stories of the R label, I went and got was Arcane actually came to me. You know what I mean? But I realized Arcane wearing my clothes will put me on another level. Not local, just not just locally. He's putting me on an international level because international eyes are watching Arcane's battle. So if you got some item or uh, something that you're trying to sell, it it's very beneficial putting that item into a celebrity or somebody of note. If they got it, if they rocking with it, if they speaking well of it, they wearing it, a lot more people will look at that icon and be like, "Yo, what they got? What? Oh, I like the way they talking. I
Right.
want to use the line type of shit." You know what I mean?
Yeah, a name with cachet to endorse your product as well.
Exactly.
That makes perfect
Exactly.
sense. What manufacturing, sales, or distribution tips can you give on products or services you've provided? Because you've given real good game on the marketing side, especially with the celebrity endorsement or the influencer endorsement. What kind of tips would you give, like, let's say e-commerce, uh, fashion, to be specific, or even yeah, no, e-commerce fashion, to be specific. If someone wants to get into fashion like you, what kind of manufacturing or distribution tips would you have if they want to do it online as well?
Um, there's many there's many different e-commerce I guess types of apps and softwares you can choose from. All different type of pricing points for the subscriptions. But it it comes with, I guess, a little troubleshooting because where I am today and the stuff that the software and the subscriptions I'm using now wasn't the first ones I was using.
Right.
I'll tell you, from now I wouldn't recommend uh, a commerce platform like I think it's called SETSY.
Oh, Etsy. Got you. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Etsy. Yeah, I had a whole lot of problems with them. Try to create the store and try to utilize that digitally. So I definitely wouldn't recommend that.
So real quick,
Um,
no offense, but don't fuck with Etsy. That's a
yeah,
lesson we can definitely take away, especially when it comes to uh, transactional advice there, and from someone who's experienced it. Um, Again, do you have anything else to elaborate on that, or were you finished with that? I'm sorry.
no, there's other. It all depends your your, your financial positioning with the amount of capital. Because decent there's decent software, decent options out there where you don't really have to spend a lot of money to get your startup popping. You know what I mean? Whereas other platforms will kind of charge you an arm and a leg. It might try to twist you into, oh, you need uh, this type of software or this type of optimization, uh, and swindle you into paying like an extra 30 a month type of deal. That type you definitely gotta watch for that type of those type of campaigns because they're very much out there.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's all about once again, just like what I was saying with vetting your business partners. You have to vet the software and the platforms you're using as well. You know what I mean?
That makes
Um,
sense.
you can easily look on Google and see their reviews and see how many people that have good things and bad reviews to say about a lot of these platforms, especially yeah, whether it's in the App Store or whatever.
Hmm.
So that's one of the first things you should be doing when you're vetting these different platforms that you're using. Um, but yeah, other than that, um, yeah, it's not something that I can say for myself. I'm not a master of this e-commerce. Um, I'm more of a master in, I would say, innovation and creating uh, designs and whatnot.
Hmm.
And it's still much of a learning and a growing process for me.
Oh yeah, and I think
Because,
that's what it is for
but
us all.
yeah, I wouldn't call myself a master in anything about this yet. But
No,
I
but for
do
someone
have
who's
I do
effective,
have, I do have somewhat of a decent insight, more above average though. I would say that, but um,
so
yeah,
where
just definitely um, vet your soft vet different platforms that you're going to be using because uh, everybody's not going to be in the same boat and like the same thing
hmm
and have different needs and wants out of what they're trying to get. And I heard people say great things about Alibaba. You know what I mean? And that to me, I'm not. I don't. Well, when I looked at it, it wasn't for me, but it's for other people. But
hmm
you know what I mean? It all depends on what your needs are.
so if someone wanted to become an entrepreneur in fashion, or entrepreneur in the music industry, uh, or in radio, what general advice would you give that person if they wanted to be involved in all of them? And like how you are, um, what advice would you give to your young self or someone who's trying to get to where you're maintaining and growing from now?
To continue to stay grounded and consistent. Um, consistency is uh, a lot in this business. Whether it's keeping your face consistent, your voice consistent, um, your message consistent, because that consistency turns into a brand people trust. So that's definitely a factor with staying in this staying in this business. Understanding that too, that there is going to be hard times, and not to dwell on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Understanding that there are going to be, well, on your ascent and on your way, your climb in whatever industry you're in. There's going to be naysayers and there's going to be natives. That comes with the territory. I mean, be prepared to defend and thwart those attacks from your naysayers and your haters. Don't
Mm,
let them uh, bring you back down. You know what I mean?
that's
Don't
great
let the
advice.
proverbial crab in the bucket bring you back down into the bucket.
Yeah. So what are your plans for longevity? What are your future, what is your end goal with investing all of your time and resources in what you're doing now? What's the end vision? If there is an end vision, an end game.
There is there is no end game. I believe of things on an infinite plane. So why am I limiting myself to a ceiling when there's planes of infinity? So
True.
I can keep going and going and going, and hopefully, when I stop, it continues with my seat.
And I respect
So
that to a hundred
ultimately,
percent. But is there a marker at which
it,
you feel successfully?
ultimately,
You know?
business, like the building of the businesses, one of my major motivations with regards to being in so many type of endeavors that are independently mine or co-owned by me is that it gets away from being subservient and kind of like dependent on corporations and the government. I remember coming up as a teenager, uh, looking for trying to get like a little part-time job. Now it was easy for the, the Italian kids to get a little part-time job because the Italians owned all the grocery stores over here. You know what I mean? It was easy for a little Arab kid to get a little part-time job. You know what I mean? Put some extra money in his pocket. You know what I mean? Buy the J's or whatever. You know what I mean? Because his family owned the pizza or the shawarma store on the corner, owned the convenience store on the corner. What's our family owning?
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, I work in a pavement market business, and a lot of these people, the employees, are family. You know what I mean? They got generations in the company, and when when the head dies, it goes to the son.
Right.
So when I die, I have something to give down to my kids. You know what I mean? That they can go forth with. When even before I die, and they're looking for work, they don't have to be uh, uh, running to the welfare office, nothing like that, or running to the streets. You know what I mean? To make a quick flip when they can make a honest buck repping their own name. You know what I mean? Um, fulfilling fulfilling the legacy of uh, uh, the name that has been created, right? So this is what it's all about. Make it easier for my children for when they come up. Um, Maybe if they don't want to do the college thing or the university thing, they can take over dad's business.
Right. Hey man, so last but not least, how can the people follow you and support all of your ventures? Like as you were saying before, you got something tonight. You got a bunch of shit going on. So tell everybody what's going on with you as far as what you're hosting, what shows you got coming up, any festivals, what products and services that are newest online. Tell us all of that, as well as where we can follow you on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff like that too.
Yeah, most def. Once again, later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm gonna be live and direct, 93.3 FM. You can stream it worldwide, cfmu.ca. You know what I mean? Just click the play button, and yeah, that bitch will play. And you'll be hearing some of the dopest independent hip hop from all across North America. That's 9 to 10:30. That warm y'all up for I guess the George Cambosis fight. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you can follow me right here on YouTube as well. TWR Presents. We haven't been as active lately. My my new schedule and things, but be on the lookout for future content that will be definitely will be posted. But you can definitely know that I'm always active on Instagram at jsteels. Um, Also at US6 on IG. Follow the usual suspect 6 on Instagram for all your latest drip, posting on the drip and whatnot. Follow me on Instagram because my page at J Steels also has a link tree, which you go on the link tree and it has my links to everything, like whether it's the clothes, the radio station, my past music, that mean videos and things like that, things of that nature. So yeah, on Instagram at J Steels, hit up my bio, the link trees there, and all. It's filled with everything. UsualSuspect6.com. Once again, BoxingDirty.com. Boxing rankings are up. One of these days, brothers, we need to get back together and renew this pound for pound ranking. And we gotta get up on that. But
Hmm.
yeah, but that's what we trying to continue to evolve and improve and widen the awareness of our usual suspect 6 pound for pound because we feel we got the best list in the business, man. Usual Suspect 6. Y'all make sure y'all check that out, usualsuspect6.com. Of course, check out the apparel shop, usualsuspect6.com. We've just uh, brought in another dope artist. Was released a new line of clothes called Skeen Wear. Skeen is a popping artist over here in Hamilton. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to have him on board at shopusualsuspect6.com. His apparel is on the first page right now. Um, he will be performing live at my 2-day festival coming up August 5th and August 6th. You know what I mean? So, yeah, check out his music. He has a dope song called Feelings. Probably will be playing him tonight, later on tonight at 9 p.m. But, yeah, hip hop festivals coming up. Of course, Shop Usual Suspect 6. Catch me on bullshit on the Beltway. And yo, yesterday was crazy. Yeah, yesterday, yesterday was crazy. He had Red in his feelings heavy. You know what I mean? Salute to Cadillac Red. You know what I mean? We always be interrupting his cook heavy. You know what I mean? We gotta we gotta check ourselves for that. You know what I mean? A little bit. But yo, sometimes boy be talking wild, bro. You know what I mean? I can't help myself. I stop the cook, bro. I have to cook, you know what I mean? But yo, that's how it be, you know what I mean, with the brothers on the Beltway. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you know, Supreme Beats, Boss and Talk, you know what I mean? Salute to 503 line. I don't get to usually tap in too much with him as much because our schedules conflict, you know what I mean? Make sure y'all tap in the Usual Suspect Sundays. Salute to my favorite spawn partner, Stay Ready Boston TV. Make sure y'all check them out on Ringside Views. Always giving us these dope interviews, these dope boxing interviews and whatnot. And of course, our guy Acquisha 45, September 30th, I believe is the date for his professional debut. So the Berserker boy is activated. Berserker will be activated September 30th. Uh, not too sure on the opponent yet, but yes, you know, he's ready to go. September 30th.
Yes,
Salute
sir.
to the good doctor, our resident trainer, our resident doctor, Usual Suspect 6, that brings a lot of common sense and knowledge to the clique, and not with the boxing shit, but uh, just socially all over the world, anything. You know what I mean? KG know about it. Man. Give you good advice and good insight on it. You know what I mean? So salute to my guy KG, the good doctor, K underscore. You know what I mean? One half of Supreme Beast Boxing Talk and SB After Hours. You know what I mean? Y'all go check that out Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, I think I summed up everything. You know?
Yes, he has a lot of ventures, um, be it in boxing, be it in fashion, be it in music. But then he also showed a lot of love and a lot of support for his partners in there as well. Uh, my friend, it was a pleasure, Jay Steels, having you on the HGM Hustlecast. Hopefully, it didn't feel too much like a interrogation, and it felt somewhat like an interview. But you gave us a lot of insight from marketing strategies, from transitioning from brick and mortar to e-commerce. You gave us insight on what it's like to transition from being an artist to actually turning your artwork into a product and making sure that it's treated as a commodity in which you can get paid for. You've given us a lot of different angles, and I think a lot that people can sit and learn from. So anyone who's intrigued about getting into any of the industries that my man Jay Steels has, give this interview a replay, sit back through it, and take home some gems and take notes. Jay Stills, thank you so much again for stopping by, brother. Have a good day.
Respect, family.
All right, guys, and the ways to support the channel are linked below. Um, that was a wonderful show. It started a little rocky, but we finished strong. We finished strong. Um, give that a replay. We try to keep it replay friendly on the timing, but it's insight, so we can't really cut a lot of these. We can't speed blitz a lot of these answers. A lot of them have to be dug into and then uncovered later. So um, that said, thank you all for stopping by. Until next time, deuces.